It appears Belal Muhammad's desired UFC welterweight title shot will have to wait for at least one more fight. UFC President Dana White revealed that the promotion is targeting Muhammad versus Rakhmonov during the UFC 286 post-fight press conference on Saturday. UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards defeated Kamaru Usman to retain the welterweight title at UFC 286, opening the door wide open in the division's title picture. Muhammad earned a win over Sean Brady in his last fight at UFC 280 last October. He's been clamoring for a title shot in recent months, along with a potential showdown with Colby Covington. Covington, who was the UFC 286 backup this weekend, will likely get the next title shot. White admitted as much during the post-fight press conference after Covington flew to London on short notice. Muhammad has won 8 of his last 9 fights, with the only blemish during that span coming in a no contest against Edwards in March 2021. He's earned unanimous decision wins over the likes of Vicente Luque, Stephen Thompson, and Damian Maia. If the matchup comes to fruition, Muhammad will face a surging contender in Rakhmonov. Unbeaten in his MMA career, Rakhmonov most recently finished Jeff Neal by submission at UFC 285. Rakhmonov, after winning the M1 welterweight title, signed with the UFC in 2020. He's made a name for himself with 5 dominant wins so far in the UFC octagon. Muhammad likely isn't happy with the UFC's plans for him, as he'd prefer a title shot after his impressive win streak. The chance to halt Rakhmonov's hype train could also come with a title shot and a chance to solidify himself as the #1 contender. As the welterweight title picture continues to formulate, Muhammad and Rakhmonov could clash later this year with a chance at becoming Edwards' next title defense. Colby Covington issues nasty death threat to Jon Anik for supporting Belal Muhammad.
And Belal Muhammad, let's talk about Belal Muhammad. Mike, you're talking about the racist, right? You're not talking Belal. You're talking the racist. That guy is so beyond racist. Like, everything he does is racist. The guy's a freaking joke. He's saying, I'm in this position because of my skin color, because I'm white. Mike, that's clear racism. I announced that the UFC and ESPN need to cut him from the panel. They can't have a racist on their show. And you know who's hanging out and associated with that racist? Jon Anik. Jon Anik, supports that racism. So it's a freaking joke. And Jon Anik's supposed to be impartial, Mike. He's supposed to be impartial. He's supposed to have that headset, supposed to be an interviewer and remain impartial. Don't be a cheerleader. You want to be a cheerleader. Let down the headset, pick up the pom-poms, go on the side, be a cheerleader. So you wanted to lick my freaking in London. Oh, Colby, this. But then you want to go back behind the stage and cheerlead for a racist. So he associates with racism and Belal Muhammad. And, Jon Anik, dude, I don't want your kids to grow up without a dad. Just realize you live in Boca. I live in Miami, far from me. So you better shut your poke the bear. Now you get the bear comes after you.
Before we finish the video, if you enjoyed this content, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to get the latest videos from MMA on the go. Adrian Yanez, Sean O'Malley fight inevitable as we both rise the ranks.
I remember after your last fight, obviously a lot of fighters from around the sport were praising you, but one that came to mind was Sean O'Malley. He had a lot of really good things to say about you, said that he would, love to fight you at some point down the line. When you look at him, do you feel like that's kind of an inevitable matchup based on, you guys being around the same age and coming up and being 2 of the young killers in the division?
Oh, absolutely. That fight's definitely going to happen. I know we've been kind of clamoring back and forth a little bit, not even clamoring, but just calling each other out, for quite a bit of time, so that fight's definitely going to happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We're going to fight. So on my end, he has really good skills. I have really good skills. So it's just more of like, when is it going to happen? Is it going to be after he loses his the title shot, or if it's going to be one of those where something weird happens in that 35 title fight, and he doesn't get a fight for the year or something like that, and he just wants to take a fight, and I happen to be good and healthy and ready to take that fight, I'd be here 100%. So on my end, it's just more like the timing issue on that. But yeah, that fight is definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
During an interview on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helfani, Alexa Grosso gets emotional reflecting on UFC 285 upset.
In Mexico, you have to change your team, you have to change your city, you have to change everything you do if you want to be the champion. And I was like, no, They made me. They made me. We've been doing this from zero. You know, we had zero background of combat sports, like zero. We started like from jiu-jitsu tournaments to MMA, like pro. We had no amateur fights, and this is huge for us. We just want to prove that when you have a good team, when you have a good coach, when you have a good training, conditioning, you know, nutrition, like no matter any place that you are, if you are supported with people that want to do better and achieve things and grow together, because sometimes it's hard to find people that want to help you to grow. You know, sometimes like, no, just me. But we are a family, you know, Lobo and Brazilian, we are a family. We are always helping each other, because my coach always says, when you are up, you have to put your hand down and like keep, you know, taking and pulling everyone that helps you, because if it wasn't for them, I'm gonna cry. I wouldn't be here, you know.
And I'm wondering how did you get over the moments where maybe you thought it wasn't going to happen? I'm sorry for making you cry, but I can understand why.
It's just cool, you know. I truly love all my teammates and my coaches for everything they've done.